Hi students, today we will learn about the second rearrangement, that is pinacol-pinacolone rearrangement. Pinacols are ditertiary 1,2 diols. The simplest member is 2,3-dimethyl 2,3-butane diol. So that is which is here in the diagram. The structure is given here. When pinacol is treated with dilute or moderately concentrated H2SO4, a rearrangement reaction takes place which leads to the formation of ketone called pinacolone, and the rearrangement is known as pinacolone rearrangement. So this is a reaction of from where an alcohol is the function group from alcohol is changed to a ketone. So that is the alcohol is the pinacol, and in presence of an acid like hydrochloric acid or sulfuric acid, it is going to give rise to pinacolone, that is a ketone. And this is also an example of 1,2 migratory shift, that is either 1,2 hydrogen or 1,2 alkyl shift. So this is also similar to Wagner-Mirvin rearrangement, wherein both of this are alike, but the only difference is that in Wagner-Mirvin we have an alcohol to an olefin, but here it is an alcohol to a ketone, and here we are using a diol. This mechanism also involves a 1,2 shift. The accepted mechanism is as follows. So first, let us look at this mechanism. So we have a pinacol that is represented in the Roman number 1. So here what happens is there's a hydrolysis. So on hydrolysis what happens, the oxygen is going to grab the proton, and there's going to be a positive charge on oxygen because there are 3 bonds formed with oxygen, which you can see here. The next step would be to remove the positive charge. So how the positive charge can be removed is by removing the water molecule. So once we remove the water molecule, what we're going to get is we're going to get a carbocation is going to be obtained. So here that is one, again you can see here is the carbocation which is generated. Now this carbocation can also be written like this. That means that the carbocation is shifting from this carbon to the adjacent carbon atom. So here there is a shift of the positive charge, because we know that whenever there's a positive charge which is concentrated at a particular point on an atom, then what happens is it can lead to instability. So how the instability can be removed is by easing the positive charge. So how that can be done is by shifting the positive charge will be shifted on the adjacent carbon atoms. So that is what you can see here. It is a cyclic carbocation that is obtained. So here when you say it is a cyclic carbocation or a bridged carbocation is formed here, that means that you can see the positive charge is oscillating between between the 2 carbon atoms. So I hope this is very much clear for all of you. So here in pinacolone rearrangement, there's a formation of a bridged carbocation which is formed here, and this is numbered as 2. Now the next step would be, after this that is after the bridged carbocation is generated, what happens is finally there is going to be a shift of the methyl group. So here if you look at, again let us go back to this carbocation which is formed here. Now there is a positive charge on the carbon atom, right, which is present on the, you can name it as a second carbon atom. There's a positive charge. Now how we are going to remove the positive charges? By shifting this methyl group towards the positive charge. So now this kind of shift is what we call as 1,2 shift. As I already told, if you number this as 1 and if you number the other carbon atom as 2, then it is going to be 1,2 shift. So the methyl group from the carbon 2 is going to move towards the carbon 1. So this is the 1,2 shift. Now after this shift is happening, it is going to, that is after the bridged carbocation is generated, it is going to give rise to the Roman number 3. So this is going to give rise to this intermediate here. Now how we got this intermediate? By the shift of, by 1,2 methyl shift. So the methyl group from here, from the second carbon, moved towards the positive carbon, and now after the methyl group moved, there's going to be a positive charge on the adjacent carbon atom. Now you can see here at this point, now the positive charge has shifted to the adjacent carbon atom. Now again, since there's a positive charge, the positive charge has to be reduced, has to be removed. So how is that possible? Now look at the oxygen atom. Oxygen atoms, we know they have 2 lone pairs on them. So one of the lone pair is going to give rise to for a formation of a double bond between the carbon and oxygen, and it's going to form an intermediate of this kind. So again here you can see here that oxygen is formed 3 bonds and it is having a positive charge. Now the last step would be removal of the proton minus H plus, and it is going to give rise to the ketone, that is nothing but the pinacolone. So this is the mechanism for pinacol-pinacolone rearrangement. So now here, these two intermediates or these two carbocations, what is generated. So now the first carbocation is called as the classical carbocation, wherein there is a positive charge on because of a removal of a function group or a removal of a group which is attached to the carbon atom with the electron pair, and which generates the carbocation. Now this is called as the classical carbocation which is generated. Now the second kind of carbocation which is a bridge carbocation, this is what we call as the non-classical carbocation. Now next we will be looking at the evidence for both the formation of classical carbocation and also the formation of the non-classical carbocation. That is nothing but we're going to find out the evidence and the proof that both of these carbocations are formed during the mechanism of pinacol-pinacolone rearrangement. Now next let us look at the evidence that the rearrangement is intramolecular is proved by crossover experiment. Now how was the crossover experiment performed? Now we had two kinds of the pinacol, two kinds of diols. So one is A and one is B. Now both of these were reacted with a moderately good acid like sulfuric acid, and when it was reacted, it was found that the two products, that is a two pinacolone which are formed, do not have any crossover experiment or do not have any cross products which is generated. Now this proved that this reactions or the pinacol-pinacolone rearrangement takes place via intramolecular rearrangement. It is not intramolecular. See how we can prove that is, when you look at these functional groups, right, these functional groups have been retained in the products. See, there was a methyl groups, again there are methyl groups, and you can see one of the methyl group has migrated in place of the hydroxyl because the water has been eliminated, and you can see in both of these all the function groups have been retained. It is not that the phenyl group has gone into product 1 or the methyl group has gone into product 2. So that is not possible. That is the meaning of cross product. Now here there is no cross products which is formed. And when there is no cross products formed, then we can easily prove that these reactions are intramolecular. Means within the molecule itself there is rearrangement taking place. Within the molecule itself, the migratory groups are moving from one carbon to another within the particular or within the same molecule. So that is the meaning of intramolecular, and this has been proved by crossover experiments. That is nothing but wherein there were no cross products formed, and this crossover experiment confirms that carbocation is non-classical carbocation bridge. That is nothing but bridge carbocation. So here this is another proof to say that this experiment or this rearrangement takes place with a bridged carbocation that is generated, or that is nothing but a classical carbocation that is generated. Now next, further evidence for classical carbocation 1 in the pinacolonic rearrangement has been obtained by oxygen exchange experiments. Partial rearrangement of pinacol to pinacolone was carried out in acidic solution containing water, wherein the oxygen is isotopic labeled oxygen. It was found that the recovered pinacol, that is 5, contain isotopically labeled oxygen, which established that formation of carbocation 1 is a reversible process as indicated below. Experimentally, it has been found that 75% of the generated carbocation reverted to diol and the remaining proportion rearranged to the pinacolone in acidic medium. So now here, how we can know that the water is, see here there are two points that we should remember. One is the carbocation which is formed can give rise to two things. There is a next step would give rise to two things. One is the formation of pinacolone, that is formation of a ketone. And the second thing is again reacting again with the water molecule to give back the pinacol. So these two possibilities are happening in a pinacol-pinacolone rearrangement. That is, you can see here, see 75% of the carbocation goes back to the formation of pinacol, whereas the remaining 25% forms a pinacolone as a product. Now this how it was proved that a carbocation 1, that is a nothing but a classical carbocation 1, was generated during this process. So now here how we can know this is only when there is isotopic labeling done. We know that water is getting eliminated, and we know water is as a solvent will be present in the reaction. Now at this stage, if this carbocation reacts with water, then you will not know whether it is the first reactant that has formed here, or whether it is the water molecule which is generated in the second step. So to give that differentiation, what is done is the oxygen is labeled. The oxygen is labeled as 18. That is, we are taking the isotopic oxygen here. So once an isotopic oxygen is taken, you can easily differentiate between the water molecule which is eliminated and also the water molecule with which the carbocation is reacting. So that's the reason why isotopic labeling is done, because the same kind of medium, same kind of solvents can be present in the reaction medium. But to know their mechanism, or to know what are the intermediates formed, what is the any possibility of carbanion or carbocation or free radical mechanism. So in all these steps, we always make use of the isotopic labeling. So here, this is how we are using the oxygen labeled oxygen isotope, and we are making use of to determine whether there is a carbocation which is generated is a classical carbocation. So this also proves that. See here again, I'm telling, since here what happens is the carbocation could have again reacted with this water molecule. If it had reacted, we would think that it is still this intermediate which is formed, or the starting material. But since here what happens, if you look at this 5, there's intermediate 5, you can see that the oxygen here is labeled as 18. So that means that the carbocation has been generated, which is a classical carbocation has been generated, and this on reaction with the oxygen isotope is giving rise to this intermediate 5. So this proves that it proves that there is the classical carbocation, which is one which is formed in the reaction intermediate, and this is going to give rise to either the pinacol, back to pinacol with reaction with water, or like this, or it is going to give rise to the pinacolone. So this is the evidence to show that there is both formation of classical carbocation and also the non-classical carbocation in this mechanism. Next, generation of carbocations is facilitated by groups that can increase the stability of carbocation. This also confirms the formation of carbocation as reaction intermediate. We know that carbocations rearrange by hydrogen or alkyl shift to get a stable carbocation, but one is already a tertiary carbocation and there is no ring strain. So why still there is a rearrangement? So here, as I already told in the first mechanism, it is Wagner-Mirvin, that always a carbocation, if it is a primary, it will always try to get more stabler by forming a secondary or a tertiary. But here, if you look at this intermediate carbocation, it is already a tertiary. So why would it still form a different kind of a mechanism, or again it would form a different carbocation when there is already stability? So now this can be explained based on their stability of between. We can explain this based on the stability between the two. Sorry. It can be explained based on the stability of the two structures 1 and 4. So now when you look at the structure 1, here what is happening is there is a tertiary carbocation. There's no doubt there's a tertiary carbocation, but there is going to be a 1,2 methyl shift towards the carbocation, right? Now when there's a methyl shift towards carbocation, now this carbon is going to have a positive charge. Now when this carbon has a positive charge, it has a more ability to ease this carbocation because we have a heteroatom which is having a lone pair. That's nothing but oxygen having a lone pair. Now this oxygen can give up its 2 electrons, or it can form a bond between carbon and oxygen to give rise to a ketone. Now this is possible. So that's the reason why though there is a tertiary carbocation which is generated during the mechanism, still there is a 1,2 shift, that is an alkyl shift here, to give rise to a tertiary carbocation at the adjacent carbon. And this adjacent carbon, that is carbocation, can be, the positive charge can be reduced because of a heteroatom which is attached to the carbocation. So this is the reason why, one of the reason why there is a though there is a tertiary carbocation, still there is a migration of the methyl group. That is 1,2-methyl group is migrated. Now, when you look at now let us look at this two products, that is two structures with respect to the octet configuration. So now, like when you look at the structure 1, if you look at the carbocation and you count the number of electrons around this, it is going to give rise to 6 electrons. That is, there are 2 electrons here, 2 electrons here, and 2 electrons here. That's along the carbonyl carbon and this carbocation, and this is going to give rise to 6 electrons. In the 6 electrons are present or are scattered around this carbocation. But when you look at this structure 4 and when you look at this oxygen atom, now here you can see that there are 8 electrons which are surrounding the oxygen atom. That is 2 electrons with forming a bond between oxygen and hydrogen, and 2 lone pairs, 4. And then there are 4 electrons around carbon and oxygen bonds, right? That is 4 plus 4, 8. So here this is one of the reason why whenever there is an octet configuration around an atom, then that is always considered to be more stable. And here this is the second reason why, though there is a tertiary carbocation generated, still there is an 1,2-methyl shift or a 1,2-alkyl shift. That is the reason, because this structure is going to be more stable than the structure 1. That is the oxygen, around oxygen there are 8 electrons, around carbon there are 6 electrons, and this is going to be more stable and this is going to be less stable. So that's the reason why there is a possibility of, not a possibility, this is how the mechanism for pinnacle-pinnacle rearrangement is, because there is a presence of a heteroatom. And also the second reason is the octet configuration. That is, there is more, and this is more stabler for an oxygen to give up its electrons to carbon rather than form a structure like 1. So this is the reason behind why there is a rearrangement, even though there is no ring strain, or even though there is a tertiary carbocation which is already present in the intermediate. Okay, next let us study about the migratory aptitude. The order of migratory aptitude in hydride, the order of migratory aptitude is hydride more than phenyl carbanion, more than tertiary carbanion, more than secondary carbanion, more than methyl group. See, now till now we studied about how there is a 1,2 shift, how there is a carbocation generated, how there is a 1,2 shift possible, and we also studied about the evidence and proof for the carbocations which are generated. Now next topic we're going to study is the migratory aptitude. What makes or what kind of groups can migrate from one position to the adjacent carbocation? Because here what happens, these examples, we can have an n number of migratory groups based on the substrate. If the substrate has a group like this, it can migrate. If there is a phenyl, it can migrate. If there is hydrogen, it can migrate. If there is a methoxy group, it can migrate. So there are all these possibilities. So there can be n number of migratory groups which can migrate from its position to the carbocation. Now for that there is a order. That is nothing but hydride always takes first position, and the second position is given by the phenyl carbanion. That is nothing but phenyl is moving out with its electron pair, and the third position is for the tertiary carbanion, fourth position is for secondary carbanion, and this fifth position is for the methyl. But however, I also want to tell you that this order is not fixed for all the examples. So sometimes you will have to also look at the migratory group which is present, and also the adjacent carbon atom which is attached to the migratory group. So all these factors also involve the chances of different migratory groups to migrate. Suppose if there is, let us take this example. Now here you can see that there is a phenyl group, right, and also there is a methoxy group. Phenyl methoxy group is also present here. But here there is a chance of this phenyl methoxy group to migrate rather than the phenyl group, though we have written as phenyl is going to have a higher possibility of migration compared to any other. So here what we should see is the migratory group must also be able to stabilize the carbocation. So this is also one more condition for a migratory group to migrate from its position to a carbocation position. Because see here, when you look at this intermediate, when you look at this group, there's a phenyl group, which provides plus inductive effect, and also there is a methoxy group which also provides plus inductive effect. So that's the reason why this is more preferable. It is more preferable for the phenyl methoxy group to migrate rather than the phenyl group. That's the reason why you can see here that the phenyl methoxy group migrates, whereas the phenyl group stays back in this structure. See, I'll just tell you this how this mechanism happening. First of all, there is a carbocation. See, this is a symmetrical molecule. If you can see, it's a symmetrical molecule because there are two phenyl groups along adjacent carbon atom, and there are two phenyl methoxy groups also along the adjacent carbon atom. Now the hydrogen is going to be, water molecule is going to get departed from this carbon atom. When it gets departed, there's going to be a positive charge at this carbon atom. Now here what happens is, now there is a ambiguity whether the phenyl group is going to migrate or whether this bulky group, that is the phenyl methoxy group, is going to migrate. If you look at this, what's going to happen is the carbocation is going to be more stabilized by this group. There is a phenyl group, methoxy group, compared to the phenyl group. That's the reason why you can see here in the product that is the phenyl methoxy group is getting migrated to the adjacent carbon atom, whereas the phenyl group stays back. So I hope this is clear. Now in the second example, when you look at the second example, here again there is a possibility that either the phenyl group can migrate or the methyl group can migrate. But here again, if we see that, if you look at this structure, we can know that there is the phenyl group which has migrated and not the methyl group, because here you can see methyl is stayed back whereas the phenyl group has migrated. Why? Again, phenyl group is having a higher possibility of a migration rather than methyl group, because phenyl has a possibility